The spotlight hit Leo like a judgment from a fickle god. He gripped the microphone, the cold metal a grounding force in the sudden, suffocating silence of the club. This was it. His first time. He'd spent years crafting his bits, honing his delivery, pouring his anxieties and insecurities into razor-sharp observations about the absurdity of life. His humor was dark, bordering on nihilistic, seasoned with a generous helping of sarcasm. Black as midnight coffee, as he liked to say. He began.
So, I was at a funeral the other day. Beautiful ceremony. Open casket. Guy looked peaceful. Which is ironic, because he was a tax lawyer.
A beat.
I guess dying really is the ultimate tax evasion.
A nervous giggle rippled through the audience. Then, a full-blown laugh. Leo felt a surge of adrenaline. He launched into another joke, this one about the existential dread of online dating, and another about the futility of trying to be a good person in a world built on exploitation. The laughter grew louder, more appreciative. He was killing. The audience was eating up his brand of cynical humor. They understood him. Midway through his set, he saw her. She was sitting near the back, bathed in the soft glow of a table lamp. She wasn't laughing like the others. She was watching him, intently. Her eyes, dark and luminous, seemed to pierce through the carefully constructed persona he'd built on stage. It was unnerving, but also incredibly captivating. After the show, fueled by the high of a successful debut, he found her. Her name was Serafina. She was even more striking in person. Her voice was a low, melodic hum, and her smile, well, it was a weapon disguised as a reward.
You were fascinating,
she said, her gaze unwavering.
Your humor is like a punch in the gut, but a strangely satisfying one.
Leo, usually armed with a witty retort, found himself speechless. Serafina was different. He was drawn to her like a moth to a flame, a dangerous, beautiful flame. Thus began a whirlwind romance. Serafina was everything Leo wasn't: confident, assertive, and utterly unapologetic. She had a way of making him feel both insignificant and profoundly important, often in the same breath. He fell hard, his self-deprecating humor a shield against admitting how deeply he was falling. Slowly, subtly, Serafina began to manipulate him. She'd praise his wit, then subtly criticize his lack of ambition. She'd admire his intellect, then dismiss his anxieties as weakness. She'd build him up, only to tear him down again, leaving him constantly seeking her approval. His jokes started to lose their edge. The darkness that had been his greatest strength now felt like a burden. He tried to write new material, but the words felt hollow, insincere. Serafina's voice echoed in his head, whispering doubts, questioning his talent. He knew, intellectually, that he was being manipulated. He saw the patterns, the inconsistencies, the calculated emotional games. But he was addicted to her, to the rush of her attention, to the fleeting moments of genuine affection she occasionally bestowed upon him. His critical mind, once his greatest asset, was now his tormentor, forcing him to witness his own destruction. The breaking point came during a particularly brutal argument. Serafina, in a fit of calculated rage, accused him of being a failure, a washed-up comedian clinging to a dying dream. The words, delivered with cold precision, shattered something within him. He looked at her, at the beautiful, cruel face he had come to worship, and finally saw her for what she was, a puppeteer, and he, a broken marionette. He walked away. The aftermath was a slow, agonizing withdrawal. He tried to write, to perform, to find solace in the familiar comfort of his dark humor, but the jokes wouldn't come. The sarcasm felt empty, pointless. Serafina had stolen his laughter, taken the joy out of his cynicism. He felt raw, vulnerable, and utterly, completely broken. He never performed again. The spotlight felt too hot, the audience too judgmental. He traded the stage for the fluorescent lights of a local hardware store. He stacked shelves, answered questions about plumbing fixtures, and lived a life of quiet, unremarkable anonymity. He never joked, not even once. The memory of the laughter, The applause, the way Serafina had looked at him, was a constant, painful reminder of what he had lost. He traded his voice for a silence that echoed louder than any joke he could ever tell. He was a cautionary tale, a comedian whose greatest punchline was his own silent demise. The irony, of course, would have been darkly hilarious, if he still knew how to laugh.
Subscribe to see more stories.